should be throwing the bash. I need a woman who will treat me right. I need a woman who love and squeeze me tight. I need a woman. I need a woman tonight. I need a woman I can call my own. She got the love and blues and she'll buy me home. She'll tie me up at night and make me say when the sun comes up, we'll do it all again. I need a woman who love and squeeze me tight. I need a woman who wanna treat me right. I need a woman. I need a woman tonight.
everybody doing? Welcome to the Zach Waldman Show. My hair's a little fucked up because I was messing with the headphones. And my hair's a little wet because I just showered. Look at that. I gotta look good for you. It's the only thing good about the show is how good I look. Really, I think we can all agree to that. That's the best part of the Zach Waldman Show is looking at me. Certainly not listening to the drivel coming out of my mouth. So why else would you be here? Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well today. I hope you had a great weekend. Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I'm supposed to be here noon Monday through Thursday, and then typically 7 o'clock at night on Fridays. This is all Pacific Standard Time, the stupidest time zone in the world. It's the time zone that makes it so every New Year's Eve, everybody you know celebrates New Year's Eve at 9 o'clock. So that's a lot of fun. But I fucked up. I ran into an old friend on Sunday, got shit-faced drunk on a level that I haven't done in years. I mean, literally years. I don't really drink that much anymore. I typically, Sunday is my free day, so typically on Sunday I'll have a beer or two, maybe a shot and a beer with a burger. That's my big Sunday. It's my big excitement. I'm still, sorry, I'm playing around here with this is a new thing now where I'm standing instead of sitting. I'm trying to figure out where I want to stand. But I hadn't done that in a long time. I ran into a buddy, and I was sitting alone. I had a burger and a margarita, and a buddy of mine came by that I went to high school with. You know, I graduated with like 48 kids. So now he wasn't in the same grade as me. But still, the school is so small that it's crazy. Like, we all knew each other. It's crazy when you run into somebody from, Miami that went to a small school with you like that. So I was so excited to see him. I've been so starved for any kind of human interaction. And so I was just so happy to see my buddy. And he sat down with me, and the next thing I know, I was more fucked up than I have been in years. I ended up puking and doing all the things. And the result was, this was on Sunday. I was so fucked up that it totally destroyed my Monday. All day and night, I was in bed. I mean, I guess that happens with age, but also with just this ridiculous amount. That's one of the reasons I don't drink a lot anymore, is because I know that if I get all fucked up, I'm going to lose a whole day. And, yeah, a little bit closer here. And that's what I did, man. I lost a whole day. I felt fucking guilty. I'm like, I can't do my podcast because I'm going to puke if I do. Rudy says he got super drunk Saturday. Haven't done that in forever. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's you didn't get a hangover, so you win. That's true. Usually, yeah, I don't know. I'm a pretty good drinker. This was the first time I just did myself in like that in a long time. It's hard for me to think of the last time I was that fucked up and that sick and miserable the next day. So thanks, Rudy, for having me, including me on your MMA podcast over the weekend. On Saturday, we did a fight companion. We watched the UFC, and the fights were not great that night. But doing the podcast with Rudy and his other friends there, the fight companion, that was a lot of fun. That was a good time. And so thanks, Rudy, for having me as part of that. I hope everybody's doing well. We're going to get right into it. I got my I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to try putting these headphones on. I'm going to see if I can work this out. I still haven't figured out how to make it so I can hear my own voice, but let's try some alien sound effects there. I wanted to see if just want to do a little volume check here, and then we'll continue onward. What the hell is this thing? There it is. All right, cool. So yeah, I have all those alien sound effects are mostly there for Miss B. So the next time she's on, and hopefully we won't have technical problems. Over 4,000 views that night. That's awesome. Hey, Immortal, how you doing, pal? Everyone kept asking me to have you on again. Plus, you got fans in Russia. That's awesome. Hey, man, maybe I'll find my Russian bride after all. Thank you, man. It was a good time. Immortal, how's it going, pal? And Rudy, you're another guy I've got to make a fan stinger for. You got to tell me, what do you want on yours, though? I hope Liz shows up today because I have a stinger for Lizzie that I made, and she has not seen it yet. So, since I can't hear my voice, I'll leave those off, but at least I have them to check the mix in the future. So, let's talk about Eric Trump. You know, I do everything I can. Oh, I knew something was off. I'm a little late, man, by everything. So, let me bust out one of these fatties. I got my coffee. Is everybody excited for the debates tonight? I'm surprised. Like, for me, I've been waiting for these debates, since he was elected. And who are Dix? So yeah, I say. So what? You want me to make a call out for you with Dix? He's going to be in my town on Friday. Apparently, I got invited to the dinner. I'm so confused. He's going to be in my town on Friday. Eric Trump is going to be in your town, you mean? Yeah, okay, so let me ask you, Immortal, Rudy, are you guys, you're excited for the debates. Good, okay. I feel like I'm the only one. Where's my fucking lighter? Hold on, I gotta get my lighter. I'm coming. Everything's I'm a little off, man. I'm not gonna lie, a little off. But once I get this weed and the coffee going, we'll sink in here. Yeah. So, I'm just surprised at the number of people I've brought up the debates to, and they're like, who gives a shit? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I've heard people say, I don't think the debates are going to change how people vote unless somebody has a complete meltdown. They're like, unless somebody has a complete meltdown, I don't think the debates are going to change anything. I think Crystal Ball said that maybe. And I'm just like, really? Because what I envision on these debates is, Biden. You aren't the only one. The debates start at 4 a.m. over here. Cool. Where are you at, Immortal? Where do you live? But it was like, Biden is, I was talking to my pal Jimmy today, Jimmy Schubert, and we were saying, Biden's not a stupid man. It's just that he's the victim of cognitive decline. This was a man that at one time could form a sentence, but unfortunately, they're pulling weekend at Bernie's with him. And my vision for the debate is Biden not knowing where he is and Trump just decimating him. Oh, you're in the Ukraine? Wow, shit. I had no idea. All this time, Immortal, I didn't know you were in the Ukraine. Fuck. That's very cool. So so I'm surprised at the number of people that don't seem to care about the debates, that don't seem to think it's going to affect anything, and don't expect it to be complete madness. It's like, do I have to remind you about when Trump was debating Hillary? You remember what that was like? How weird it was? So let me spark this bad boy up. Make the show good. Make the podcast good. Make sure you hit that like button for me. Man, this is I got to remember this brand. This was that creme brand. This is the one that came with the 4 chambers for the 4 joints. All the joints are rolled in keef. This is, I gotta say, man, these creme joints, these are some of my favorite pre-roll joints ever. A lot of pre-roll joints just don't burn very evenly. These things burn perfectly. Smoke good the whole way through, rolled in keef. The reason I'm trying to just keep my fingers on the filter there or the crutch, because I don't want to. There's so much keef on this. I don't want to knock the keef off the joint. Remember when Trump zinged crooked because you would be in jail? Yeah. That's. Oh no, it was a bloodbath with Hillary Clinton and Trump. So what is it going to be like with Biden? All right, let's just talk about Eric Trump, though. This is really funny. Eric Trump unwittingly suggests he's part of the LGBT community, but LGBT people say no thanks. Fucking funny. Here's the article. Get a little coffee here. Look at this. This is. Here, I need someone take a screenshot of this. Because I feel like this really says what the show is: coffee, weed, and comedy. See that I'm posing for my billboard. Tune in to the Zach Waldman Show, noon Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Fridays, where he does weird news with Juan and Zach. Hold on, let me get my posture better. I feel like. Maybe both at the same time. Like, he wants to podcast and smoke and drink all at the same time. Anyway. I'm using myself. God. Oh, fuck. I gotta. Oh, you know what? I think I've got the. Do I have the. Okay, I guess this is the right one. All right. Yeah, Juan calling me on their line. Let me. I didn't realize my little screen region was off here. So let me pull up this article so you guys can see it. There we go. And now we can read the article together. Always something, right, guys? I mean, you see, I'm not flipping out, though, for once. I'm not losing my mind. I'm handling the fact that this wasn't already there. I'm handling it well. So, Eric Trump unwittingly said he's gay. He made an appearance on Fox and Friends Tuesday morning. But the gays don't want him. This is what he said. He said the gay community. By the way, I'm done with the LGBTQ shit. It's gay. That's all you need. I'm going back to the way it used to be. Gay. That's it. And if you're bi, that's fine too. I know a lot of people, they go, they don't believe bi is a real thing. They think like if you're bi, you're just actually gay. And I don't know. I'm willing to give them. I know a lot of bi people, and let's see. I've done enough things that are questionable in my life that I could see someone liking both men and women. So I don't believe that if you're bi, you're gay. But I think that's all you need. Gay, straight, and bi. Remember that old joke from a million years ago? I'm trisexual. I'll try anything. That's kind of me. I think that's more what I'm at. Because I'm not bisexual, but I'm up for a good time. I'm up for some kind of weirdness, I'll take some pills and do some weird shit. Come on, let's do it. Or I'll at least watch you do some weird shit. I'm drinking Dunkin' Donuts coffee today. I ran out of my Don Francisco's. All right, so anyway, the gay community. This is Eric Trump talking. Eric Trump says, the gay community, they're incredible. You should see how they come out in full force. That's pretty funny. Nice pun. They come out of the closet in full force for my father every single day. I'm part of that community, and we love the man. So much double entendre, so many puns, so much to make fun of there. Rudy says he's pansexual. That means you only like to fuck in Panama? What does that mean, pansexual? Hi, I'm pansexual. I stick the handle of a frying pan up my ass while I masturbate. Dunkin' Donuts coffee is actually really good. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. All right. So Trump's been married to wife Laura, since 2014. To many viewers, he appeared to be trying to quote an anonymous member of the Trump-supporting gay community, but his misspeak nonetheless garnered many responses from that community online. Gay advocate Rob Gill wrote, "Go away, Eric Trump. We don't want you." Echo journalist Erica Lenti, "We, the gay committee, have had an emergency meeting and we've rejected Eric Trump's application." Well, that's kind of funny because I was going to say, who is we? I love this. I love the group identity politic thing, right? Because you wouldn't judge all gay people, because they're gay. You wouldn't say, well, all gay people are a certain way. Yet, gay people don't mind speaking on behalf of the whole community. It's like, as a black man, we reject Donald Trump. Well, how are you speaking for all black people? Anyway, I do want to reread his opening, that quote, though, because it is pretty funny. I mean, just that's why I ended up doing the story, by the way, just because I thought this is funny. The gay community, they are incredible. And you should see how they come out in full force for my father every single day. I'm part of that community, and we love the man. I mean, there's so much there. Line by line, you should see how they come. Hey, pal, they do more than just come, all right? Don't just because we're a bunch of gay men, that doesn't mean we spend all our time coming. Imagine if you could just, thank God there's not, right? Because sometimes you have those days where you jack off once and then an hour later you're like, God damn it, I got to jack off again. And you're like, okay, that's good. And then like a few hours later, you're like, what is going on with me today? I've got shit to do and I've got 3 times. And you're like, so thank God it comes to an end at some point in your day. Otherwise, that's all we would do is jack off. I'm very happy that they're coming for my father. Exactly. Well, yeah, I was going to get to that. So they come out, and that's also funny because like the coming out of the closet in full force. So now it just sounds like it's a whole army of gay dudes just coming, and it's for his father, and he's part of that, and we all love it. So it sounds like he's coming out as being gay, and he wants to say that me and all my gay friends, we all come really hard fantasizing about my dad. It's the whole reason I wanted to do this story. Hey, but then again, that's why Yahoo News has the story, right? Because of the way he said this, queer writer and actor. How is queer different than gay? I'll go with queer too. But queer always seems to me like kind of offensive, right? Gay seems happy, but like, hey, you queer. Anyway, this queer writer and actor, Michael Cyril Creighton, posted, I don't think Eric Trump should come out as gay. I think he came out as someone who doesn't know how to structure a sentence. That's fucking funny. You got to give the gays that. The gays can be funny. A lot of funny gay people. Gay singer Simon Curtis added, Eric Trump coming out on Fox News is not what I expected from the timeline this morning. At least one group, Gay Puerto Rico, welcomed Trump with open arms, tweeting congrats to Eric. Eric Trump, the gay community, they're incredible. You should see. Okay, this is the same thing. So that's it. All right, that was it. That's just a fun little time to spend the beginning of the cast. Gay humor. dick jokes, talking about Eric Trump being a homo. It's fun. Homo. That's another one. Why does that sound bad? It just means one sex, right? It's actually it's like Homo sapien. It's a very scientific way. Oh, he's a homosexual. But you say homo. The way you say things has a big effect on how it's taken. He's a Jew. He's a Jew. I think it was Louis C.K. had a bit about that, all about the way you say Jew. But every Jew's known that forever. But I think it was him had a good bit about that. Imagine being gay for Sleepy Joe. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know, man. As a trisexual, I don't want to fuck Biden or Trump. But boy, okay, here's one thing we can all agree on. Melania Trump is unequivocally the hottest first lady ever. I mean, has anybody ever been hotter as a first lady than Melania Trump? The only person that comes close is the secret first lady, when that was Marilyn Monroe. By the way, Marilyn Monroe never really did anything for me. I mean, I never met her, but what I'm saying, I never thought she was that hot. She's kind of fat. Her tits aren't that great. I remember when I was growing up, going to the magic shop. The magic store I grew up going to was called Biscayne Magic and Joke. God, I wonder, I'm still friends with this woman that was one of the owners there. I should have her come on my show one day and talk about magic shop days. You guys don't understand what magic shops used to be like. She's from Slovenia. I've been there. Nice. I've been to Solvang. Well, this magic shops in the old days, before the internet and before things are the way they are now, were very I want to say protective. Is she's not all that. Who are you talking about, Rudy? Marilyn Monroe or Melania? When you say she's not all that. Immortal says Monroe is kind of overrated, but she paved the way for women being carefree beauties. Yeah, I'm a Marilyn Monroe fan. Don't get me wrong. And the attitude and all of that. She was more attitude than looks. And she got so abused by everybody. I mean, the Kennedys and Hollywood. I mean, that poor woman was just put through the fucking ringer. And Marilyn Monroe's a political figure for me. She made a new standard for women. I agree. See, Immortal, I'm right there with you. I'm totally in agreement that it was more about what she represented. And, so you agree with me about Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. So when I was in this magic shop, okay, so the magic shop I used to go to, it didn't just sell magic. It was Biscayne Magic and Joke. And they had all these collectibles in there, too. And I remember as a little kid, they had this nude photo, probably signed, it was a collectible, of Marilyn Monroe. And, when you're a kid, anything naked looks pretty good. But I remember even like in my horniest, looking at that going, yeah, she's hot. I mean, she's okay, but like her legs are kind of thick and I don't know, she's kind of fat. Like different body standards, I guess, back then too. Let me pull up some pictures of Marilyn Monroe here. I bet I could find the same fucking photo I saw in that magic shop. I don't know. Sometimes I look at her, she looks really hot, but I mean, here's what Marilyn Monroe actually ate every day. Some stupid article I found. I just wanted the picture. So, like, I chose this picture because I figure it's very natural looking. She's, doing a toe bend, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't think she's that hot. What she did was she moved the dress from the knee to the thigh. Take that, guys. Yeah. Let me find another picture of her. I mean, look, sometimes, like, okay, she looks, where's that one? She looks kind of hot here. Let's see here. That looks pretty good. You know what? I think maybe why I'm not into her. I just realized the reason. I just had this epiphany. I think it's because she sort of looks like my mom and my sister. My mom and my oldest sister look a lot alike. And this is the first time I'm looking at this, thinking about this, going, you know what? I think which is good, right? That means I'm healthy. That means I'm normal. That I just realized, oh, I'm not attracted to Marilyn Monroe because she sort of looks like my mom. That makes sense. I'm trying to see if I can find that one nude of her that they used to sell at the magic shop. I feel like it was a well-known picture. You know, whenever people talk about wanting to go back in time, I always think the problem with going back in time is the women, just their hygiene, the way they looked, the giant muffs. That's the downside to time travel, is the women look like shit back then. That takes guts. No, I'm with you, Immortal. I agree. I'm in complete agreement. Usually she was the only woman in the room. She had power over men, and she spinned it well. Yeah, I'll tell you, hold on. Fucking, I don't know why I don't just move the tissues over here. I'll tell you who, not hot, but as long as we're talking about characters, like Immortal said, she was a good sexual energy channeler. Yeah, she was like I agree. She was like a character. And I'll tell you who else was like that was Mae West. But Mae West had a lot of bite to her. You know, Mae West was hilarious and biting. You guys know much about Mae West? My sister used to many years ago would dress up as Mae West for events. She was like a Mae West impersonator, so she would memorize all these lines. And here, like, play a little Mae West for you. Hold on a second.
Well, when I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
I see a man in your life.
What, only one?
I changed my mind.
Yeah, does it work any better? Oh, well, I'm caught between two evils. I generally like to take the one I never tried.
Now, take care of these men.
Yes, give them all my address.
I love this shit. I love these awesome one-liners. Just that's a fucking, what a great character.
Lighted, I have heard so much about you.
Yeah, but you can't prove it.
Haven't you ever met a man that can make you happy?
Sure. Lots of times.
What kind of husband?
I mean, come on. This is a goddamn murderer's row of great lines. I love this shit. I love a good line, a good turn of phrase. My favorite thing in Mad Magazine was snappy answers to stupid questions. And I changed my mind. Does it work any better? No, she was she was the greatest. Yeah, we got to play the we have to play at least one ultimate zing for her.
Ultimate zing.
In honor of Mae West, the ultimate zinger.
What did you think I should get?
I should take a single man, leave the husbands alone.
Well, I can always tell a lady when I see one.
Yeah, what do you tell them? I had to shoot a lion once.
Really? Was he mad?
Well, he wasn't exactly pleased about it.
You were wonderful tonight.
I'm always wonderful at night.
Aren't you forgetting that you're married?
I'm doing my best. What's the good of resisting temptation? There'll always be more.
Well, I wish you'd forget your principles, Ruby. I must have you. Your golden hair, your fascinating eyes, and alluring smile, and lovely arms. Your form divine.
Wait a minute. this a proposal or you take an inventory?
You certainly know the way to a man's heart.
Funny, too, because I don't know how to cook.
I'm sorry you think more of your diamonds than you do of your soul.
I'm sorry you think more of my soul than you do of my diamonds.
Do I bother you if I look over your shoulder?
No, do I bother you?
I'll never forget you.
Come on, the best, right? This is the best shit ever.
No one ever does. Well, it's better to be looked over than overlooked.
Great town, St. Louis. You were born there?
Yes.
What part?
Why, all of me. What'd you do? Get your hair cut or have your ears moved down?
You know I've been mad about you from the first time I laid eyes on you. Well, you're my whole world. What do you want to do, drive me to a madhouse?
No, I'll call you a taxi.
Young lady, are you trying to show contempt for this court?
No, I'm doing my best to hide it.
I wonder what kind of a woman you really are.
Too bad, but I can't give out samples. Why don't you come up sometime, see me?
Awesome, right? I mean, who was better than Mae West? And so, like Marilyn Monroe, I think in the same way. I mean, not with the lines, but she was a character. You know, it was a different thing back then. Celebrities were, you didn't know anything about them. You know, there was a mystique. And they didn't tell you, you didn't know their politics. You didn't know shit about these people. They were, same thing with rock stars. You know, before things, you know, became what they are now, you know, you would see these album covers and you would be like, oh shit, what are these guys about? You know, you'd go to the record store and you're flipping through the albums and you're just looking at, you have nothing to go by except the cover art. And, you know, and there's a Dio album, Holy Diver, and you're like, what's going on here, man? There's a priest drowning and a fucking devil. Like, what's fucking Holy Diver? Dio? Yeah, I'm in, man. I loved Ronnie James Dio. She was a character. She was unhappy. Monroe was her stage name. Yep. Yeah, Immortal. Who knew I would tap into Immortal's fondness for Marilyn Monroe? But all of those old school vaudevillian types, your W.C. Fields, you know, the Marx Brothers. I love all that old shit, man. Those great lines, and it's, you know, most modern day stand-up comedians don't have those kinds of. Well, most comedy in general, you don't see that kind of wit in comedy often anymore. Can anybody think of a modern movie or movie star that comes close to those, like a Mae West or a W.C. Fields? I mean, I'm trying to think who nowadays. Let me think of a movie star that could be that charming and witty. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know if there's anybody left. Anybody? Do you guys have anybody that's like, you think about like the red carpet back then versus the red carpet today and what they were talking about and the questions they asked. And I mean, I guess on one hand, all that stuff back then was a lot more fake too, right? It was all this big illusion. And now it's like, you know everything about these people. It's funny. I think I'm always going the opposite of the crowd because I've always performed with the philosophy of honesty. Yeah, it's like tell the truth, make jokes, exaggerate, you know, that kind of thing. But now that that's so the norm and everything is trying to be ironic, I'm feeling like maybe I want to go the other way. You know, make everything, creating a complete fucking illusion surrounding what I do. But yeah, I think the ship has sailed. I'm just me at this point. But Jack Nicholson is a character. He's still around, but you don't really see Jack out there giving witty retorts. I guess you got Ricky Gervais, but he's more of a comedian. I'm trying to think of like a movie star type. Like a big movie star, like a Mae West or a W.C. Fields. Is there anybody like that now with that kind of wit and charm and fuck? I don't know. I met Ronnie. He was so fucking cool, man. Seen him live 3 times. Really? You met Ronnie James Dio? Holy diver! Fucking love Dio, man. Dio was awesome. I never saw them live. Or him. I never saw him live. All right. Jennifer Aniston is your babe. She seems sweet, but she does. Again, she's not like some wit. She doesn't have jokes like Mae West. I don't think she did her best for her to be the best she could ever be. She was the right gal at the right time. I think Madonna worked far more to be a sex symbol and a channeler. Yeah, Madonna, I'm not a big Madonna fan. Never was. I thought it was shit music. I thought she was just a good marketer. Madonna was smarter than Marilyn Monroe, but Monroe made it look easy. Well, see, I think Marilyn Monroe was more pure. I think Madonna was a marketer. I think Madonna's completely full of shit. She's disingenuous. I think Marilyn Monroe was a little bit more genuine. All right, let's see. What else? So we talked about Eric Trump coming out of the closet. Let's talk about bosses spying on you at home. Why not, right? I saw this article, and I just, I don't know. I don't know why it caught my eye, but let's take a look at it. I monitor my staff with software that takes screenshots. Laura Jones, business reporter, BBC News. Shibu Philip admits he knows what it's like to maybe waste a bit of time at work. Shibu. What a fun name. It sounds like, if I had a poodle, I would name it Shibu. Here, Shibu. Ooh, little Shibu. Come on. Come on. Who wants to go for a walk? Does Shibu want to go for a walk? Come on, Shibu. All right, so Shibu's the founder of Transcend, a small London. Oops, hold on. Move my. The Rock. So Rudy's, sorry, because of the delay, Rudy's answering my question now about, let's see. The Rock is great, but does The Rock have jokes? He's a great performer. But, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think they make them like that anymore. I don't think we have a modern day equivalent. You know who he died in the last few years, though, was Jonathan Winters. He was kind of like that. But Jonathan Winters was a goddamn mad genius. He was so good. I love Jonathan Winters so much. Damn, he was funny. There was, in our lifetime, in my lifetime, I remember George Burns. I used to love George Burns and Gracie Allen together, too. Burns and Allen. Anyway, going back to Shibu. Shibu's the founder of Transcend, a small London-based firm that buys beauty products wholesale, resells them online. For the last year and a half, he's used Hubstaff software to track his workers' hours, keystrokes, mouse movements, and websites visited. This is why I can't have a job. Why can't we just treat people with an assumption of them doing their best and then having some kind of way to judge that without monitoring them? This is why I can't have, I haven't had a 9-to-5 job in over 20 years. And I don't think I could ever do it again. Although I'm getting really fucking scared right now because unemployment's going to run out and I'm so fucked. I don't even know what I'm going to do. But aside from me being amazingly fucked, you saved a poodle today? Nice. I really want a dog. Fuck, I want a dog so bad. But anyway, this idea of going to a job and being treated like you're in kindergarten. It's like, listen, cocksucker, what do you want me to do? What needs to get done? Okay, that's what you want me to do? I'll do it. If it gets done, and it gets done properly and quickly, or by the deadline, or maybe before the deadline, how about we make a deal? How about when you give me something to do, I will focus on it completely and do a great job, but also in that process, you're going to leave me the fuck alone if I want to take an hour nap and I want to, do a little meditating and a little masturbating, and then I want to go back to work. I don't need Shibu saying, "Oh, Zach, I noticed you were spending a lot of time meditating and much time watching porn. I need you to be working." Well, listen, Shibu, I got all that shit done and I handed it in a day early. What else do you want me to work on? You tell me what you want me to work on, and I will consistently get it done ahead of schedule, and I'll get it done right. But I need some time to goddamn motherfucking jerk off and meditate. And sometimes it happens when it happens, all right? I'm sure you occasionally got to take a shit, Shibu. All that fucking all that curry and spinach. You know what it's like. So imagine curry and spinach coming out of your dick hole instead of your ass. That's what I feel like, all right? I'm a horny, dirty, filthy fucking drug addict, all right? So, or not drug addict, psychedelic addict, all right? I need transcendent experiences in masturbation on the reg. And I can't do it if you're going to be monitoring every minute of my day, Shibu. The Rock was okay up until yesterday when he came out and endorsed Joe Biden and Harris. Hey, man, just because people's politics are retarded doesn't mean I don't like them. I'm sure everybody in my family is going to vote for Biden, and they're all mad at me because I'm going to vote for Joe Jorgensen. Madonna reached her full potential through hard work. I don't think Monroe reached her full potential. She wasn't willing to put the work in. She wasn't guided properly, wasn't willing to work. Monroe could have been a great message sender, but she tossed it away. Madonna knows what she has and protects it. Madonna is way smarter, and she'll live to be 100. Yeah, but two totally different time periods, different social norms, everything was different. I don't even know if it's fair to compare the two of them, but okay, I guess it's fair to compare them, I guess. I feel like Marilyn Monroe had more soul. Madonna had more marketing savvy. I don't really think either one of them are all that talented. Was Marilyn Monroe like a great actor? I don't think so. And Madonna's a shit pop star. All pop stars are dog shit. There's no such thing as a good pop star. With very few exceptions, all right? Anyway, let's go back to Shibu monitoring my mouse clicks. With 7 employees based in India, he says the software ensures there's some level of accountability and helps plug the time difference. I know myself. You can take an extra 10-minute break here or there. It's good to have an automatic way of monitoring my employees, what my employees are up to, said Shibu. By looking at screenshots and how much time everyone is taking on certain tasks, I know if they're following procedures. And if they're doing better than I expected, I also study the photos and ask them to share that knowledge with the rest of the team so we can all improve. Employees are fully aware that the software is in use and can delete time spent visiting websites that might have been logged by accident during their break, for example. With more of us than ever working from home during the coronavirus pandemic, there's been a spike in demand from employees for surveillance software. Yeah, suck my dick. You know what? I work harder. I work so fucking hard, but you can't whip me into it. All you got to do to make me work hard is give me some, if I have a job that I enjoy, even if I don't, just give me a task. Just tell me, hey, we need all of this data entry done. All right. And it's like, it's horrible. It's tedious. It's data entry. But that's what we need. Fine. Now leave me the fuck alone. And I'm going to get hammered and high and jack off and meditate and video game. But I'll also I'll do data entry for like 18 hours a day and get this shit done because I just want it done. I just want to get it done. You know, that's like what I used to feel like when I had a job. But, you know, again, that's why I haven't had a day job in over 20 years. My job don't fuck with me at all. Nice, Rudy. That's good, man. U.S.-based hub staff says its number of UK customers is up 4 times year on year since February. Another company called Sneak offers technology that takes photos of workers to their laptop and uploads them for colleagues to see. What a fucking nightmare. I got last week I was supposed to do a podcast and I totally fucked up and didn't show up for it, so I got to make sure I don't do that today because they rescheduled it for today. It's at 4 o'clock, so I got 3 hours. I mean, could you imagine a worse scenario than your laptop periodically taking photos of you and your colleagues can see it? A fucking nightmare. Photos can be taken as often as every minute. Although the firm describes itself as a communication platform and says everyone on the app has the same experience, whether they're an employer or an employee. Its co-founder, Del Curry. Hey, he should meet up with Shibu. They can eat curry together. They can have chicken tikka masala together. Del Curry told the BBC that it had seen a 5-fold increase in its numbers of users during lockdown, taking the firm to almost 20,000 in total. A recent study by academics at Cardiff University and the University of Southampton found that a common fear among bosses is that the out-of-sight workers will shirk, although lockdown didn't actually appear to have that much of an effect on output either way. Survey also suggested that a third of home workers felt that their productivity had fallen too. But is technology the answer to either catch out those who might be slacking off or to help those struggling to adjust to working from the kitchen table full time? Josh, a 26-year-old photographer living in London, admits that the thing he found hardest about working from home was the drop in his productivity. You're a photographer. How do you work from... I don't understand that. Setting up a makeshift studio in the kitchen of his 3-bedroom flat share was logistically challenging, but he also struggled with motivation. Then, I don't know. I have no struggle with motivation. I love what I do. Maybe you don't really love being a photographer. You know? Some days I'd get through everything. Others I would sit and stare at a pair of sandals for a while just thinking I can't do this. It's too easy to just go and put the washing on or make a cup of tea. Jesus Christ. Why does everything Brits say sound so fucking gay? I don't know. Some days I'd rather I would get through everything, but others I would sit and stare at a pair of sandals. I would just sit there and I'd be thinking, I can't do this. I can't. It's too easy to just go put the wash on and make a cup of tea. You find your ways to distract yourself quite easily, you do. He's grateful his boss doesn't use any tracking software on him. I'm so confused. You're a photographer. How did you normally work? And why do you have a boss? What do you do, product photography? So you had a studio that you went to take pictures of things? And you're unmotivated to wake up and walk 3 feet into the next bedroom and do the same job because of tea? This guy's talking about being distracted by washing his clothes and putting on tea. Come on, pal. There's Pornhub. You're not going to mention... He's not being honest. It's Pornhub that is distracting this guy. This guy's like, oh, well, the truth is, mate, I never had the ability to just watch porn anytime I wanted. And I had no idea how often one man could jerk off. He's grateful his boss didn't have the tracking software. Oh, those days when it was a bit harder to be motivated. I would have felt bad if I knew somebody was tracking my productivity, he says. Well, what does it matter? What is it? That's my point. Why does it, if it's done and it's done well and it's done on time, what's wrong with you doing it the way you want to do it? Maybe you have a day where you just need to take a day for yourself, and then the next day you work 3 times as hard. Josh has long suspected he has ADHD. His doctor agrees, although he's still on a waiting list for a test. Everybody thinks they're fucked up, dude. Everybody thinks there's something wrong with them instead of understanding that it's mostly behavioral. Before this guy thinks he has ADHD, I'd have some questions for Josh. Josh, do you wake up and do you go to bed and wake up at the same time every day? And are you getting at least 7 hours of sleep? Somewhere between that 6.5 to 7.5 range, maybe 8. You getting that kind of sleep, Josh? How are you eating, Josh? You eating lean protein and vegetables and good carbs? You exercising, Josh? You exercising, buddy? What do you do? Can we do all that before you go to the doctor to get medicated for ADHD, you big pussy, you British faggot? I don't know why I'm yelling at Josh. Having returned to the office recently, he's valuing having some more face-to-face interaction. I find a routine structure really anchoring. It helps me get through it. That's what I'm telling you, the routine, pal. Exercise, do some jujitsu. While some bosses who use these types of software might argue that it's good for maintaining productivity, research by the Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development suggests that workplace surveillance could damage trust. Monitoring employee behavior can be a justifiable way to reduce the risk of misconduct and potentially help manage performance, says Johnny Gifford, Senior Advisor for Organizational Behavior Research at CIPD. However, employers should have clear policies so that workers know how they may be monitored, and crucially, it must be proportionate. Employers will get much better results by supporting employees, he adds, rather than focusing on potentially irrelevant measures of input, such as the number of keystrokes. Jonathan Rennie, partner at UK law firm TLT, urges caution for firms considering introducing such software. Employers have an implied legal duty to maintain their employees' trust and confidence, need to be mindful of how employees might react to the mass rolling out of monitoring software. Written policies, gay. You know what's funny? I was watching a documentary talking about the difference in work, and I think this was in Europe, where it's illegal in Europe. I believe, I don't know if it's all of Europe, if this was in Germany or England. I think it might have been a Michael Moore documentary. I'm not sure. But anyway, the point was it was illegal for your employee to bother you about work outside of work. You know how, like, here in America, you've got a job and, you leave your office and then you're at home and you're having dinner and then you get a text message from your boss that says, sorry to bother you, but I'm trying to find some file or something and I don't know what folder it is on the, could you hop on Discord real quick and show me which folder, whatever it is, right? And that's like normal. That's fucking illegal in other countries. Not allowed to do it. It's like, no, that's your fucking work time. That's your personal life. We're not allowed to bother you. But here it's like, what you do for your career is your life. That was always my argument about, refusing pretty much at some point, just refusing to get a typical job because I feel like your job is your life. And I'm unwilling to give my life force away to other people or to a company that I feel like I'm just dying for them. You know what I mean? I'm sitting in this cubicle doing their work and none of it means anything to me. I'm not fulfilled by it. I don't really care about what the company is selling or marketing. I don't think it's better for the world. I don't think the people, you know what I mean? I just was like, my life force is being spent in this place for nothing. It's like I would rather stand on the street Well, okay, I'd rather do exactly what I'm doing now. I'm a digital panhandler where I'm constantly sending people, hey, go to zachwaldman.com/fans. Donate some money to me. I haven't paid my rent. Help me out. Join my fan club. Use my affiliate links. I am a cyber panhandler. I'm an internet fucking bum. And I would rather do that because at least I feel like talking shit, I get a chuckle once in a while from you cocksuckers. And I'm like, all right, get a few chuckles, give them something in their life that they didn't have before. That is fulfilling to me, you know? Contemplation, spreading the word of meditation, trying to encourage people to meditate. That makes me feel good, you know? It's like, oh man, maybe I convinced one person to take up meditating. And, you know, I've actually, years ago when I was doing my live stream, I received a letter. I received an email from somebody that used to watch, and it was this whole letter about all of these horrible things he was going through, and that I saved his life, that he was like suicidal, and it really made me feel good. And at the time, I was in therapy. So I forwarded the email to my therapist. And when I read it, I was like, wow, that's really cool. I made a difference in somebody's life. And then when I got to therapy, she had printed out the email and framed it. And I think before she even brought it out, she's like, hey, that email you sent me. I said, oh, that was kind of cool, huh? She's like, yeah. She goes, well, look at what I did. And she brings out the framed letter. She was like, you know, I asked you about it. You're like, yeah, pretty cool. She's like, it's more than pretty cool. She's like, I don't think you realize the impact that you can have on people. And look at the impact you had on this one person. And you need to acknowledge that and realize that, you know, that it's important what you do for people. See, that makes me feel good. And I can sit here and continue to try to make this work because I feel like I might make you laugh. I might encourage you to exercise or meditate. I might encourage you to be more open-minded about the porn you watch. Actually, I'm trying to convince more people just to go to lesbian porn. I might encourage more people to go back to girl-on-girl porn where the focus is on kissing and sucking each other's tongues and tits. It'll make you a better person. Those are things that I feel like make the world a better place. How much is my rent? $1,600. My rent is $1,600. I'm about to pay September's rent. What happened was the unemployment, I was able to pay all my bills when we were getting the extra $600 from the feds. When the extra $600 ran out, I'm getting so little in unemployment every week that it basically takes me 6 weeks of collecting unemployment to have enough to pay my rent and a little more. So the point is, I've had to save up unemployment to be able to have enough to pay September's rent. So I have enough now. So my building manager will get my rent check October 2nd. She'll deposit that, and then I'll be late for October rent. And then it's going to take me 6 weeks to save up. Then I'll pay October rent, but it'll be halfway through. It's gonna get later and later and later is what's gonna happen. And then unemployment's gonna run out completely. And then I'm gonna fucking I don't know. Then I'm gonna start masturbating on my live stream to see if people will give me $5 for that. I guess it's time to start giving hand jobs on Santa Monica Boulevard for $10 a piece. I mean, you do 10 hand jobs a day at $10 a piece. That's $100 a day. But I don't even know if somebody will give me $10 for a hand job. You know, it's a buyer's market right now. They might want me to blow them, and I'm not willing to do that. I really don't want to jerk them off, but I would rather give hand jobs to dudes in the park than get a job. I haven't had a job in over 20 years. Now, I have thought I could, you know, I'm good at website design. I thought, well, I could start offering people websites, but that's like starting a whole other business. And I started a new business. It's this. This is my new business. Want to do video chat? What do you mean, Immortal? You mean like OnlyFans, like jack off for for other dudes for money? Maybe so. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe Miss B will pay me to jack off for her on video. I gotta ask her. Miss B, well, she's got no fucking money either. Maybe there's some lonely old people out there. Maybe I can like start hitting up old folks' homes and saying, "Hey, listen, I know you got a lot of old people there. If any of them want to Zoom with me and watch me masturbate for $100 a shot, I'll jerk off in front of your grandmothers." By the way, in case you haven't figured it out, I'm standing now. This is my new thing, doing a standing cast. It's so unhealthy to sit for hours at a time. And especially, man, my back has been... I never have back problems. My back's been fucked for 2 weeks, and it's from sitting on those bar stools that are shitty for hours and hours on end. So now I'm a standing caster. I think it's good. I think it's going to keep me from going too long, and it's going to just be healthier. It's fun, though. Although sometimes I think maybe I should take the mic out so I could move around a bit more. You know what I mean? Like, see, this is kind of good because I feel like, I can just move around more. I'll go back and forth. I'll go back and forth between being able to, like, move like this and then I can put it in the thing when I need to. Do I have any plans for retirement? I did, Immortal. I did have plans. I was doing fucking great. I was making a fucking lot of money, and I was saving and investing most of it and paying. I had... I was making the most money I've ever made in my life. I've always made good money, by the way. I've worked since I was a kid, and I've always made good money. I've always been an earner. There's never been a year in my life where I didn't make a significant amount of money. The problem was that I mismanaged my money for most of my life. I was like 43 before I got the You Need a Budget app. There's an app called You Need a Budget. And it's like a digital version of the envelope system. The envelope system is like, if you've ever seen these TV shows where people are really bad with their money, and so they some expert comes in and teaches them how to manage their money. And what they do is they have them put every expense they have, they write it on the outside of an envelope, and they take all their money out of the bank and they put cash in the envelope. So they're always dealing with cash, and they can only spend what they have there, so they move the cash from envelope to envelope. So they might have $50 in an envelope for, dinner and a movie or some shit. Although that would not enough for dinner and a movie now, but let's say a movie. And then they go, oh shit, you know what? Let's skip going to the movies because we'd rather take that $50 and put it toward, a credit card. So they take it out of that envelope and move it over to the other one. And most of the people are bad with their money. You think that's true, Immortal? I was bad in a very different way with my money, though. I was exceptionally bad. And I really shouldn't have been. My dad was a stockbroker, but he never taught me a goddamn thing about anything. So it's, except for how to break up with women. That he did teach me. But other than how to coldly leave a woman, my dad never taught me anything. But but the point is, You Need a Budget is an app that's like a digital version of that envelope system. And it fucking changed my life. And I still use it. I use it every day. And so then suddenly what I started doing was I had some personal debt from several years ago. I broke my leg and ankle, and some of my closest friends supported me during that time, paid my rent and all that shit, and I still owe them money from over like 10 years ago. So I was starting to pay them back. And while I was paying them back, I was also saving, investing. I was doing everything the right way. And, I really became an expert in personal finance management. I went from being a big retard to, knowing what the fuck I was doing. You use Google Spreadsheets, a life changer. Yeah, You Need a Budget started out as a spreadsheet. The guy who invented it basically put together a spreadsheet, and then he shared it with people, and people were like, this thing is great. And then they just kind of modified it. So it's essentially just a really pretty spreadsheet is what You Need a Budget is. So anyway, I was doing great, man. It was, so when you say what was my plan for retirement, I looked up how much money I needed to put away every year to get to where I wanted to be retirement-wise. And I was making enough money that I could have put like triple away. I was making plenty where I'm like, well, fuck, that's all I got to put away. I think it came out when I did the math. I think I basically had to put away like $17,000 a year starting now to be where I wanted to be by retirement age. Now, look, I'm never going to retire. I'm always just going to be a performer. But, that might, like, what type of performer I am may change. So for instance, if I can get this YouTube thing to take off, as I'm older, I may want to go on the road less and stay here and do more casting. I don't know. But the point was, I was like, okay, all I got to put away is 17 grand a year. Fuck, I got an extra that was fucking nothing. But now and what's so different about this thing with COVID is, let's pretend for some reason my comedy and magic business just wasn't doing well for some reason. Let's just pretend that it's 2020 and I don't know what could cause the crash of corporate entertainment. I don't know. Let's just pretend that corporations decide, just in a fantasy world, that they decided, we don't want to take a chance on performers anymore because it's just not worth it in this woke culture, this atmosphere of wokeness. And then all of a sudden I have no corporate gigs. It's like, okay, I lost my income. What could I do? Well, I could do more private parties. I could do more clubs. There's things I could do, right? I could go back to playing poker, part-time. It's like, all right, no more corporate gigs. I'll make my living. I could go get another bar or restaurant gig, I already had a couple before COVID, like every week. There's things I could have done. But with COVID, it's all just fucking gone. The stand-up comedy's gone. The magic is gone. It's not, in other words, it's not like it's a downturn in my business that I'm trying to fix. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not like something's happening and business just isn't good. I'll tell you what, I can give you a real example instead of my made-up weird example. During the Great Recession, when that happened, business was fucking awful. And it's like, okay, if business was just awful, there was things you could do to compensate. You could do more private parties for less money. You're going, shit, normally I get X amount of dollars for this, but I'm going to have to take this amount because we're in a recession and nobody wants to spend any money. Your magic requires people's interaction. If Biden gets elected, you can kiss that goodbye for a few years. Trump wants to reopen the country. Well, it's not just magic. It's the stand-up, too, man. It requires an audience. It requires people being together, And look, I love doing this anyway, so I hope I can get this to work. But matter of fact, there's 5 of you watching right now. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe, share, let people know we're on. And go visit ZachWaldman.com/fans. There's all kinds of free ways you can support me there. You don't have to spend any money there. You could just, hey, man, just put it in your head. Every time you're going to buy something from Amazon, instead of typing in Amazon.com, make a little shortcut, make a little bookmark, ZachWaldman.com/Amazon. If you click on that, That's my affiliate link. It'll take you right to Amazon, but I'll earn a commission. So if you don't want to join my fan club, but you want to support me, just make a little bookmark, ZachWaldman.com/Amazon. And remember, oh yeah, I'm going to order something off of Amazon. Let me use Zach's link. Hey, Immortal, I appreciate the support. Thank you, my brother. I don't know what I would do without all those people's names on the bottom. Those are all members of my fan club. Without all of them and without long-term fans like Immortal encouraging me, your story entertainment is good enough for me. Thanks, Immortal. And look, Immortal, you've been with me a long time. This is a different thing I'm doing now than I used to, man. I'm really trying to turn this into something as opposed to what I used to do. When I first started live streaming, the idea was I would just speak extemporaneously on a variety of topics, with the goal being to stumble across a funny moment or two that I could take a note of and use that as the seed of an idea for going on stage. So I was basically brainstorming and using anything that seemed to work and then I would go to, like, when I went to do a show, I would try that out. I'd be like, hey, by the way, and if it worked, I would add on to it. And I wrote a lot of stand-up comedy by just brainstorming and speaking with just this constant stream of consciousness going by. I was using it to write. I wrote a lot of stand-up that way by doing this, but now it's different. Now I'm trying to make this an actual show. So that's right. You know me since Blog TV. That's exactly right. How about Patreon? I closed my Patreon because there are a bunch of censoring cocksuckers. Why would I want to build my business on somebody else's platform where they can change the rules, take everything away from me, and also they take a commission from your Patreon. So people are paying you on Patreon. You don't get all of that. But if you go to ZachWaldman.com/fans, it's exactly like a Patreon. There's no difference. If you go there, there's some free content. You're going to notice there's some of the content is free. Some of it it's behind the paywall. There's affiliate links. It's ZachWaldman.com/fans is exactly like Patreon, but it's a Patreon I own. And that's my advice to anybody watching this. I told Joe Rogan long before his podcast got as big as it did. I told him, oh, my fucking back. Doctor says I need a backiotomy. Oh, it's so fucked up. I told him back then, I'm like, dude, just build this on your own website. Build it all on your own platform. Put up your own paywall. And now if he had done that all those years ago, I mean, that's what Tom Leykis does. Tom Leykis knew, like, hey, I'm going to build this shit on my own. That's what Anthony Cumia did. Other people have done it. Zach, let me give you an idea. Start accepting donations in crypto. I do, Immortal. Go to ZachWaldman.com/fans. And you'll notice there's under the donate section, there's a whole bunch of different install Trust Wallet from Google Play. My wallet is, Zach, you're only counting on YouTube's algorithm to find you're an audience. Are you also advertising your YouTube channel by posting on social media? Yeah, I sure am, Jay. I always share on Twitter, Facebook that I'm live. The big mistake I'm making is I've been having a bit of a writer's block in terms of putting out pre-produced videos. The pre-produced videos are the ones that get me the most subs and get me the most fans to watch me live. I need to be putting out way more of those, and I'm just, for some reason, having a mental block. I haven't put one out in 2 weeks, and normally I would put one out one minimum a week. But anyway, so I was going to say, yeah, if you go, I accept crypto already, is my point, Immortal. I'll show you. Oops. See, this is my fan club, and you'll see other ways. Donate, PayPal, Venmo, Wishlist, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, Litecoin. So check it out. I got 4 different cryptos there. Affiliate links. Here's Coinbase. Get $10 in free Bitcoin when you use my Coinbase affiliate link. So, yeah, man, I'm doing the crypto thing. All about it. All right, let's move on to the next topic I had chosen for us. We did Eric Trump comes out of the closet, so Eric Trump is now gay. Boss is spying on you at home. Let's talk rich Americans don't pay taxes. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. It's just what I want to say is everybody's freaking out about Trump not paying taxes, and they should be disgusted by it. But they should have been disgusted by it many, many years ago, because none of these rich cunts pay taxes. This isn't new. You know what I mean? It's, hey, Immortal, is there a cryptocurrency that I'm not accepting that you think I should? I mean, I think that's enough. I got 4 there. And I'm like, I think that's enough fucking cryptocurrencies. No one's ever donated crypto to me. Thanks for hitting those thumbs up button, guys. I appreciate that. So anyway, rich people have never paid taxes in this country. So I don't know why people are acting surprised about this. Sorry, I got my back. Oh my God, my back is so fucked up. It's never been like this. I'm going to hang from my pull-up bar in a little while. Man, I'm glad I'm standing up now. It's too bad it took me so long to figure out I should stand up. Makes no difference to you guys, does it? Whether I sit or stand? All right, but let's go ahead and check this out. We're going to talk about it. President Trump's tax returns show he has a company, how rich Americans avoid taxes. This is from Nathan Bomey, USA Today. So basically it's saying just like Trump, lots of rich Americans deploy sophisticated tax avoidance strategies to maximize their wealth. Not to be confused with tax evasion, which is illegal. Tax avoidance is entirely legal, even if many view it as unfair. A sweeping New York Times report published Sunday revealed numerous tax reduction strategies used by Trump. He's not alone. Affluent taxpayers often have more avenues than ordinary Americans to avoid paying Uncle Sam. It's pretty vile, but it's not vile because Trump does it. It's vile because they all do it. What's up, Robert Rodriguez? How you doing, pal? Pop a perk for the back. Dude, I never have back issues. I know what I did to it. I'm going to correct it, man. I'm going to be, between me and you guys, I was going to return to training jiu-jitsu last night. And the only reason I didn't is because I got so goddamn embarrassingly drunk on Sunday. I was so drunk on Sunday I couldn't ride my bike home. I had to walk my bicycle back to my apartment, which is probably smart because you're not supposed to ride your bike drunk. I know people that have gotten DUIs like that. But my buddy that was with me, he was like, do me a favor, bro. Because we both got fucked up. He's like, walk your bike back. He's like, don't try to ride that fucking thing. I'm like, man, when your buddy's like telling you, man, don't get on that bike, you're fucked up. Last thing I wanted to do was kill myself on a bike. Wealthy Americans are the largest source of underreported income, according to IRS data analyzed by researchers. The top 1% of, what I was going to say, though, is I'm going back to jiu-jitsu tonight, and that'll fix my back. You're back in Miami? Cool, man. Are you glad to be back in Miami, Robert? I got one of my best friends is moving to, I think, the Delray area in a month or two. The top 1% of American taxpayers account for about 34% of the misreported income, according to a study published in the National Tax Journal. It's like, I guess every time many wealthy, I was just going to say, it's funny how small groups of people often disproportionately account for some kind of problem. You know, it's like you go, blacks are 13% of the population, but they commit 50% of the crimes, most of it against other black people. And then you go to that's like the extreme on one end, right? Then you go to the other extreme. The top 1% of American taxpayers account for 30% of them. It's like the richest. It's when you go to the extremes, you also find in that small extreme a small amount of people. It's kind of like the 80-20 rule, right? It's even more blasted out than that. It's like the exception to the 80-20 rule. It's the 1%, 34% rule. You know the 80-20 rule, like 80% of whatever comes from 20% of whatever. You know, it's like if you've got a sales team, 80% of the sales are coming from 20% of the team. You know, you're only here for a few weeks, but you like it. Yeah, man, it's weird. I never imagined I would ever go back to Florida, but sometimes California is so fucked up, I think maybe maybe one day I will. I think if I were to ever go back to Florida, it would be like in 10 years or something. It's nothing I would do now. Many wealthy Americans deploy complex, arcane, but wholly legal strategies to minimize their tax obligations. Some use fairly straightforward strategies that allow them to minimize their taxes under the tax code. So one is, here are the common ones. Growing wealth through investments. It's much harder to avoid taxes on your paycheck than on your investments. In general, the federal government taxes regular wages at higher taxes than investment income. The long-term capital gains tax rate maxes out at 20%, and the highest income tax rate is at 37%. So in other words, government keeps $370,000 of every $1 million in salary once you hit the highest tax bracket. If you make $1 million in stocks or similar investment, the government keeps $200,000. Selling assets at strategic times. Taxes on assets such as stocks and real estate investments aren't owed until they are sold. That helps people such as Jeff Bezos, the Amazon CEO, founder and richest person in the world, grow their wealth rapidly while avoiding a huge tax bill. They can be strategic about when they sell. By stockpiling assets without selling, rich investors can minimize their tax burden. Wealthy individuals can wait to sell until it makes the most sense for them, such as a year in which they will have large capital losses to offset the gain. This is according to the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. Unrealized capital gains accounted for more than a third of the assets by the richest 1% of Americans in 2013, according to a Federal Reserve analysis. By comparison, the bottom 90% of Americans only have 6% of their assets in unrealized capital gains. Zach, Trump runs businesses. He's probably legally required to pay as little taxes as possible due to fiduciary duty to his investors, so we can't blame him for doing what he's forced to. Oh, Jay Smith. I said it, I don't know when you got in here, but I said that at the beginning. I said, I don't give a fuck about Trump not paying any taxes. I give a fuck about the way everything is set up that enables all of these rich cocksuckers to legally, and in some ways, like you said, even be obligated to pay no taxes. I understand what you're saying. They have an obligation to stockholders to make the company as profitable as possible. So it's there's something wrong inherently, I guess, in the system. I don't know. Look, this is not my area of expertise. I'm just reading a news article and reacting and discussing. So that's why I love when people who are smarter than me are in the chat room, which is pretty much everybody. But when they're in the chat room and you contribute. So that's the cool thing about the live cast is I get to hear from a bunch of different people. Speaking of which, there's more of you in the chat room now. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me. That costs you nothing to subscribe to the show, to hit the thumbs up button, to do all that stuff. Really helps me out. And go to ZachWaldman.com/fans and help me pay my bills. By the way, I'm about to pay my September rent, but I have not paid all my other bills. Haven't paid my car insurance. Hey, everybody. You're listening to a broadcast of a guy that has never been so fucked in his life. I was a guy that was doing so well. Take it from me. You could be on top of the world and consider yourself wealthy. And I did. I was like, I'm starting to become a wealthy guy. Because before lockdown, I had a few emergencies that all happened in the first 2 weeks before the lockdown. Right, 2 weeks before the lockdown, I had $5,000 vaporized because of some emergencies. And I was like, hey, that's why you put money aside. No problem. Dust yourself up. Get right back up. And then the lockdown happened. I weathered all of this better than a lot of my friends because I was doing so well. It took 6 or 7 months, right? You're supposed to have a year of savings. I didn't have a year, but look, I'm 7 months in and I was okay for most of it. It's only recently that I'm going, all right, now I'm fucked. The reserves are drying up. My coffee is very cold now and not in a good way. Let me spark this fatty up. All right, another thing they do is they use business income loopholes to reduce personal tax liability. So the 2017 tax bill signed into law by Trump allowed for a 20% deduction on certain business income that passes through partnerships, sole proprietorships, and S-corps. Isn't that good? Because my business is a sole proprietorship. My corporate entertainment company is a sole proprietorship. This is income that individuals report on their personal IRS returns, but the tax break allows them to reduce the tax rate on that money up to 7.4 points, according to the CBPB. This setup is most likely to help the wealthy. 61% of the benefits go to the wealthiest 1% of Americans, according to the Joint Committee on Taxation. I'm on a joint committee. Lisa De Simone, Associate Professor of Accounting at the McCombs School of Business at the University of Texas, Austin, said many tax breaks available for business owners were put in place to stimulate risk-taking and innovation. There's a notion that there are lots of tips and tricks that only the wealthy can take advantage of, De Simone said. The provisions weren't written to try to help the wealthy get away with things. Instead, she said new businesses can benefit when they're able to deduct early losses from income. You don't have to be super rich in order to claim a business loss. So that sounds good to me. I don't know. I mean, maybe the wealthy are the ones smart enough to take advantage of it, but I have an awesome CPA. I can only assume she took advantage of it for me, for my business. Taking advantage of death tax policies to enrich their heirs. You know, the death tax, that term was coined by a friend of mine, Frank Luntz. I think I can call Frank a friend. I mean, I've been to his house. We hung out. He said I was funny. He invited me back. I wonder if I could get him to do my podcast. I took a liking to Frank Luntz. Interesting guy. The tax code allows Americans to build wealth through deferred capital gains, then pass those assets tax-free along to their heirs upon death. Called the stepped-up basis tax break, this loophole encourages wealthy people. Because this used to be called, I think, the inheritance tax. But by calling it the death tax, renaming it, and that's what Frank Luntz is all about. He's like a specialist, like an expert in communications and in using language to influence policy. Called the stepped-up basis tax break, this loophole encourages wealthy people to turn as much of their income into capital gains as possible and hold on to assets until death, when a lifetime of gain becomes permanently exempt from tax, according to the CBPP. The inheritor could be subject to paying the estate tax if the total value of the estate tax exceeds a certain threshold, but that threshold has been substantially increased. The 2017 tax law doubled the amount of a deceased person's wealth that's shielded from the estate tax, from about $5.5 million to more than $11 million. The limit is poised to reset to its original amount in 2025 unless Congress takes action. So there you go. Now we're all a little bit more educated on, so maybe as you make more money, maybe, you can take advantage of more of these types of things. This is why it's good to, Tom Likas always said, he always says, you're never going to lose money by investing in good professionals, like a good CPA, a good attorney. When you find a good one, keep them and don't complain about how much they're charging you. Because, if you get a good one, they're gonna be doing all this shit for you and talking to you about it and helping you, Makes you think like almost everybody should start a company, right? It's like everybody should just incorporate. They should just decide, even if they've got a job, they should say, in addition to my job, I'm going to start like a corporation and start like a side hustle, and then use that corporation to pay less taxes. I bet you could do that, right? It seems like that would work. I hope everybody's having fun. Are we having a good time? Enjoying the show? I just blew smoke directly into my microphone. My microphone always smells like weed. I didn't mean to do that. Notice all the top. I mean, I'm really doing my best to stay away from politics on the live stream, trying to make it fun. Every Friday, I'm doing Weird News with Juan and Zach, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get on with Juan and myself, and we cover all the quirky news stories. I saw this one Yahoo story. Wedding guest sparks controversy with inappropriate outfit choice. You just can't do it. This comes from Am I the Asshole forum on Reddit. And this woman went on there to talk about how her father's girlfriend, that's got to be such a weird thing to say, right? My father's got a girlfriend. My parents stayed together, so it's just kind of like, I can't imagine my father having a girlfriend. I mean, I know he did at one point when he was like in his 70s. But anyway, this chick, her father's girlfriend, posted her wedding outfit, and it looks to be like almost the same color as her wedding dress. And so she's throwing a conniption. And it just seems like you read these stories, and goddamn, do weddings seem like more trouble than they're worth. It's just so stupid. The amount of money people spend. Nobody wants to go to a wedding. Weddings aren't fun. It's not like it's a good time. I mean, it is. Sure, I've gone to some fun weddings, but the weddings I've been to that were fun, they were like by artist type friends of mine, musicians and stuff, where everybody was smoking weed and they were. It was like a jam session, and this felt like a regular party almost with those people. But I would almost just have a regular party with them. Just marriage itself. What a fucking... I can't believe people are still getting married. It just seems so stupid and pointless. But the more important thing was, I realized how often I read these articles from Yahoo, or I'm captivated by these articles from Yahoo, that are... the subject comes from the Am I the Asshole forum. And I'm like, let's see. I don't want to talk about weddings, but let's see if there's other. I thought let's explore that together. My understanding is that Reddit is a vast wasteland of wokeness now. The only thing I've subscribed to on Reddit is the instant karma thing, and I love the instant karma videos. But more and more, I've been spending time on Reddit. It's just there's so much shit on it. I know it's an old thing, but I was like, all right, I want to check out the Am I the Asshole thread, because I seem to like that thread. So I figured I'd explore it with you. And yeah, here it is. So, oh, my stomach. I still feel pretty shitty, man. I'm still recovering from what I did to myself on Sunday. Let's see. Am I the asshole for telling my sister she can fuck off if she thinks my marriage is... Nope, that's the other thing I've noticed. Here, let's start at the top. That the first one is about a wedding. Am I the asshole for stopping my mother from attending my sister's wedding? for telling my sister she can fuck off if she thinks my marriage is problematic. The first two are weddings. Number 3, am I the asshole for taking away my sibling free food privileges from the restaurants I own because they kept on telling me I deserved not to get any money from my father in his will? What? Is this fucking English? My sibling free food privileges from the... Okay, you got me. See, this is... I got to know what the fuck this person is trying to say. So, my died a few weeks ago. What? I guess it's his father. So, my dad died a few weeks back. Wasn't a shock. He had cancer. Already lived past the time he was given. Before his death, my father told me that he was taking me out of his will because I was already so successful in life. This is another theme I see a lot. A lot of talk about wills and being taken out of them. I'm 32, and I own 3 restaurants that are still doing good despite my current events, though he did give my great-grandfather's World War II M1911, which I was very happy to get. Now, I was upset about being taken out of the will. I mean, I didn't feel like doing things right and being successful was a good reason to be kicked out, right? It's like a punishment for being successful. But I didn't argue it or even really bring it up while my father was living. Arguing about money would have just been a waste of time in my father's final days. I know what this guy feels like. I feel like my dad is the hardest. You know, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and then my family adopted a 7th. There's a fucking million of us, right? And I feel like I'm definitely, my dad gives me more shit than anybody. I think he's harder on me than anybody else. Meanwhile, I'm probably the least fucked up. That's not true. My oldest sister is the least fucked up. And she's definitely the favorite. And I am definitely the least favorite. I think my dad, I think he likes the fucked up adopted one who's just a complete fuck up. I think he likes him more than me. Anyway, fast forward to my father passed and my brother and sister let's call them James and Holly. Wow, they received $750,000 from my father in his will. Holy shit. Now, they aren't poor, but it's a big jump between what they make and what I make. Fuck. I brought up what my father said and told him I was angry and upset with his reasoning. I felt I was punished for doing right. Oh, man, I know how this guy feels. Anybody else relate to that, doing the right thing, and then your parents, like, they go out of way to help the fuck-ups, and you get punished for doing the right thing? Oh, man. James told me Dad was right to cut you out. You make so much you didn't need any more. We do. Holly folded it up. Why are you complaining? You're already well off. This would have just been icing on the cake. He was trying to think of something to say that was calm, and James asked, you aren't going to try to contest this, right? I just waved them off. I didn't want to talk to them, but they kept on telling me I didn't need it, and I better not contest it. Wow. I told them to stop bringing it up and let me be upset for a little while, and I'll get over it. Yeah, they sound like assholes. Anyway, they didn't. They had in their minds I was going to contest it and try to get $250,000 from each of them. I had no plans to contest it. It was my father's wish not to give me the money. By the way, am I the asshole that I'm spending this much time on a Reddit thread? I told you I get intrigued by these. Am I the asshole? Maybe this is a bad segment on the show. I don't know. Anyway, he said I wasn't going to contest it. He basically was just saying, hey, man, my feelings got hurt. I'm not going to contest it, but our dad's a dick. That's what he's saying. Another confrontation about how I didn't deserve any money. I told James and Holly that my restaurants here it is, that they frequent and enjoy will no longer be free to eat at anymore. This is what I was trying to get at. Okay. Good for this guy. I'm liking this guy. I'm on this guy's side. So far, what I think is this guy did everything the right way in life, was very successful, and instead of receiving praise, admiration, love, and something from his father basically heaped all that on the 2 fuck-ups and gave them all the money. And now he's going, all right, cocksuckers, you're both very wealthy now, and you don't need a free meal anymore. You keep telling me I don't need inheritance from dad. Well, I'm telling you, you no longer need to eat for free at my restaurants. So I own 3 killer restaurants. You cocksuckers are always coming in here, probably with your shitty kids, and you're ordering up everything on the menu, taking food to go and feeding it to your dogs, and all for free because you're my siblings. Well, guess what, you dumb cunts? You don't get to eat for free anymore at my restaurant. I'm on this guy's side. The ultimate thing. So now James and Holly are mad at me, saying I'm doing this because I'm mad about them getting inheritance, which is partly true. I'm upset, but had they just let me be mad, I would have gotten over it. But am I the asshole for taking away their free family discount at my restaurants? So I guess the thread blew up. He has an addendum here. I want to say the M1911's a pistol, not a rifle. No shit. My mother's grandfather was a soldier in the European theater of World War II. That would be cool. I want a fucking old military issued 1911, especially if it was used in combat. That would be badass as fuck. I want one of those. Secondly, the restaurants I own are 2 sit-down casual places, burgers, fries, steak, fish, stuff like that, which is named after me, just north OPs and South OPs. And the third place is a Buffalo Wild Wings. I know Buffalo Wild Wings. Sports bar. I named it after my mother. Oh, it's a place like Buffalo Wild Wings. Named it after his mother. She really liked sports. Felt it was a way to honor her. Yeah, fuck these people. Yeah, fuck them. They got the they got that much money. They don't need a free meal from you anymore. You know what they could have done? They could have they could have generously said, you know, we understand why that would be hurtful for you to get left out of the will. You know, and we know you don't really need the money, but it's the idea. So me and my brother, we're going to give you $100,000 each. You know, I hope that is acceptable, and I hope it softens the blow of our dad being a dick to you. How do you feel about it? And he could have said, you know, I was hurt by it, and you're right, I don't need the money, but that's a really sweet gesture. I really appreciate it. And, you know, thank you. And they could have kept, and everybody would have loved each other, and they could have kept going to the restaurants for free. But instead, he said, look, it bothers me. I'm not going to contest it. Just let me get over it. Let me just be mad and upset about it for a little while, and I'll get over it. But they wouldn't let it go. They kept pushing and pushing and bothering him. He was like, you know what? Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all right in your fucking cheapskate asses. I'm not going to contest it, but I'm also not going to let you eat for free anymore. So good luck, assholes. You know? That's what he should have done. And he should have even said it like that. He should have said, look, this is all I was getting at. But you wouldn't even let me have that. You wouldn't even give me a day. You wouldn't give me a day to just be angry. So you know what? Fuck off. You want to be petty? I'll show you petty. Am I the asshole for not allowing my disabled neighbor to park in my driveway and getting her car towed, despite the previous owner allowing it? Oh, boy. Am I the asshole for installing solar on my house? For breaking down my daughter the reality of moving out at 18? For taking the family GameCube? For being honest about my dad on a school family tree assignment that was put online? Ooh, you want to hear about that? Want to hear about what's wrong with this fucking guy's family tree? I do. He had a school assignment where you make a family tree. I had to do that, where they merged 2 classes, so art and history. I did the same fucking thing when I was in school. They had this like class they added one year, and it was a joint class. Should have had joints, but it was multiple teachers teaching together like these merged things, and we had to do a family tree. My honest family history, my mom was in an affair with a politician. He'd have nothing to do with me and would pay my mom money to the table like hush money to rather than go through the child support system having anything on record. My mom passed away 2 years ago. My uncle and aunt took me in, so I drew a family tree with branches that represented my connections to each person in the family. My mom and I were connected by a thick, strong trunk because she was my stability and strength growing up. My uncle and aunt were drawn in the tree, but also connected to me by some pretty flowering vines, morning glories, like they grow in their garden to represent our close connection despite being further apart in the tree. My biological father was drawn on a branch that had fallen off the tree. I love this kid. Branching off above me and beside my mom to represent that he was in the tree by blood but wasn't connected to me. His ancestors were also on the fallen branch. I drew the branch as gilded but withered to represent their extreme wealth but extreme lack of involvement or emotional connection. This kid's fucking did a way better job on his family tree and the symbolism than I did on mine. I don't think I had any symbolism on mine. I just drew the branches. Anyway, so he did a whole fucking thing. My project won an award from my art teacher, put it online. After a couple days of his art being up, my uncle got contacted by my father's staff and they wanted the art taken down. Thought it was kind of creepy. His name was handwritten on it, but not searchable. The only thing that was searchable was my name and the school I went to, so it seems like they'd been stalking my online presence pretty hard. I didn't want to take it down. It was something I was proud of, and I wanted this guy should tell him to go eat a dick. I don't know if he's still... I don't know if his father is still sending money or not. If he's like, hey, cocksucker, I'm still sending you money. And the whole deal was, I send money and we keep this on the DL. But if he's with his aunt and uncle now, I don't know if he's still getting money. I asked my uncle if he could ignore the message. He wasn't sure he wanted to because he didn't want to cause any issues. Oh, see, there it is. That would make my father stop supporting us financially. So that's what it is. Now, I say you don't take it down, and if he threatens to take away the money, then what you do is you go public with it. Keep the art up. Don't be a pussy. And if he stops taking the money away, then you sue him because he is your biological father. You have a paper trail of money showing that he's been supporting you. And he's been, no, fuck that. Leave the art up and out the fucking cocksucker. That's what I say. Anybody? The chat room's got real quiet. I'd love it if you guys would speak up, hit the thumbs up button for me. Make sure you visit ZachWaldman.com/fans. Do all the things. Maybe I should make this table a little taller. I don't know. All right, my friends. So I think I did it all. We talked about Eric Trump coming out of the closet, bosses spying on you at home, rich Americans not paying taxes, and we explored Reddit's Am I the Asshole thread. I guess now what we'll do is I've got to do another podcast at 4 o'clock. So that better be 4 p.m. Pacific time. I would feel horrible if I fucked up twice with this guy. But I'm 99% sure. Let's double check because I'm paranoid. Let's see here. 4 p.m. Pacific time. All right, good. Yeah, I'll be doing that soon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend the rest of this time with just some open chat, open discussion. We'll check the breaking news. And if there's any breaking news that I want to talk about before I go, we'll do that. If there's anything on your minds that you'd like to talk about, we could do that. Sheriff indicted after live PD captures black man's death. Director wouldn't make Remember the Titans today. I don't think I saw Remember the Titans, so I don't know why the director would have a problem with that. I would like to pretend I care, but I don't. Cuban picks up troubled ex-NBA player at gas station. I like Mark Cuban. First debate has a new issue as Trump deflects. Yeah, what's that? What's that issue? I wish Mark Cuban was president. I don't agree with him about everything, but he's a reasonable, smart guy. Mark Cuban is the real version of what Trump pretends to be. So let's see. Deflects questions about taxes. Okay, so I guess it's all about the tax thing, is what they're saying. I don't give a shit. We covered that enough. I got here late today, but I enjoyed the show. Are you going to make a post-debate show tonight? You know what I might do tonight? Okay, so I'm doing the show Monday through Thursdays at noon. Get high with me at high noon, Monday through Thursdays Pacific Standard Time. Friday nights, Weird News with Juan at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then I'm throwing in surprise live casts all over the place. And I'm planning on going to jiu-jitsu. And so maybe I'll do a late night. I won't be doing a post-debate show, but maybe a late night, like maybe I'll do a show at midnight tonight and go on for a while. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I can't wait for the debates. What time are the debates on? I think in like an hour, right? I believe they're on, or are they on now? What time are the debates? If I wasn't going to do this other podcast, I would play the debates on here and watch them along with you. School staffer gets jail for sexually abusing boy, telling him he deserved special things. So it's one of these hot chicks. So actually, it seems rare that one of these hot school teachers that bangs their kids gets jail time. Let's see here. Yeah, she's not that hot, is she? Got that white. Well, that's a mugshot. 32-year-old Wisconsin school staffer sexually abused a 16-year-old student. Told the police she was going through extensive personal issues in her life at the time. She pleaded guilty. 6 months in jail. That's it. Initially charged with 3 counts of sexual assault of a student by a school staffer and 2 counts of exposing intimate parts to a child for sexually abusing a 16-year-old student in 2019. However, the 3 more serious charges were eventually dropped because the then 31-year-old was not actually a Green Bay School District employee when she had sex with the student. She turned her life around. I know what I did was wrong. While I did not initiate the relationship, I should have put an end to it once I realized the messages being sent to me were from a student at the school. Please have it in your heart to see good in me. Have me keep working. Have me keep seeing my counselor. Have me be around my family daily. Overall, I hope my actions for the last 13 months have shown you how serious I have and will continue to take this. However, Judge Donald Zuidmulder called Rosnowski the nightmare of every parent. You are frankly the nightmare of every parent because what a parent assumes is that a child is in a safe environment with trusting people. But I have to tell you, I'm unimpressed by your comments about a good heart. You drove me over there. It doesn't have anything to do with the heart, he said. She was arrested after a Child Protective Services received a tip and initially denied having a sexual relationship with the student, according to a criminal complaint. When she was asked to hand over her phone, she began to cry and admitted she had started having sex with the teen in mid-July. She initially intended to be the boy's mentor. Yeah, mentoring him in blowjobs. And she loved him in a way that didn't want to see anything happen to him, blah, blah. Do you guys remember when I was a kid, for me, like the closest thing to porn that I ever got to watch as a kid was this movie called Private Lessons. It's on at 9 Eastern, so that's 6 Pacific. So we got 4 hours before the debate. Yeah, so that's at 6 o'clock. I'm gonna leave later to go train So yeah, I probably won't do a post-debate thing. But Private Lessons was this movie about this woman showing this teenager how to fuck. Came out in 1981. Anybody remember this movie? This was like, I remember it was all the talk of Private Lessons. And this was considered like just a really dirty comedy back then. A 1981 American sex comedy. I've never heard the term sex comedy. I could immediately think of some that would be sex comedies, though, like the movie with John Ritter, Skin Deep. Or how about, what was the one with Andrew Dice Clay was in a movie. Fuck, I forget what it's called, but that was kind of like, let's see, Hollywood released a number of sex comedies. Doris Day, Jack Lemmon, Marilyn Monroe. Oh, Marilyn Monroe comes full circle. Porky's, Bachelor Party, Risky Business. Oh, those, I love a good sex comedy. But Private Lessons, Sylvia Crystal, Howard Hessman, Eric Brown, Ed Begley. I should rewatch this. What happened to him should happen to you. Private Lessons. It was written by Dan Greenberg. Let's see. It was one of Crystal's few major American film appearances. She was better known to European audiences for her Emmanuel films, which had only limited distribution in the U.S. Let's check that out. The movie compares itself to works of Ovid and Chaucer. Yeah, it is pretty funny, right? I saw that, Jay. I meant to mention that. I just got distracted. That is funny, though, right? So here it is. Philly Fillmore, a 15-year-old high school student and the son of a rich businessman in Albuquerque, left town to an extended trip during a summer break, leaving the young man in the passing care of Nicole Mallow, a sexy French housekeeper, and Lester Lewis, the family's chauffeur. Philly becomes infatuated with Nicole. When she spots him peeping into her room, she tells him to close her door. To Philly's utter shock, she means for him to close her door from the inside and then watch her undress. However, it's too much for him when a topless Nicole asks him to touch her breasts. When he objects, she steps back and instead takes off her panties. Philip panics and leaves. This was the plot. This was like a big movie when this came out. How funny is this? Like, now this is like, people are complaining about the movie Cuties. So later on, he's surprised to find her in his father's bathtub. Once again, to his amazement, she asks him to join her. At first, he objects, but instead, she keeps sweet-talking him until he finally gives in. The only thing I remember of this movie is I remember he eventually starts banging her, and that's all he wants to do, and that because he's fucking her all the time, he gets hungry, and he like gets the munchies, and he starts to get fat, and at some point, she like doesn't want to fuck him anymore. But it always stuck in my head. It was like, you know, when I was a little kid and I saw this movie, it'd be like, really? If you fuck a lot, you get the munchies? So I'm not going to read the whole fucking movie here. You know what? I think I want to watch it again. That might be a fun thing to do for the members, is do a watch Private Lessons and do a watch along with Private Lessons and put it up in the members area at ZachWaldman.com/fans. So at this point, no one in the chat room is saying shit. So I guess we're going to wrap things up. I should do a whole show about sex comedies, though. I guess I never heard of that as a genre, sex comedy. But now that I see all the examples, for sure. By the way, they mentioned Bachelor Party. God damn, I love that movie. I saw that movie so many times. Bachelor Party, there's this scene where they're, all the guys are out for the bachelor party, and they run across. They see that the women are out having their bachelorette party, and they send over this like male stripper, and they pay him money to put his dick inside of a hot dog bun, and he walks up to them, "Hi, ladies, I'm Nick the Dick," and then they try to take the hot dog, they grab the bun, and they don't realize his dick is in it, and they're tugging on his dick, and the guys are laughing their asses off. That's one of the only things I remember from that movie. But I loved all those movies. You could almost say Revenge of the Nerds was a sex comedy. It was almost in that same genre. Revenge of the Nerds is like one of the only R-rated movies I can think of where they showed pussies. Now, you didn't see the actual vag, but there's a scene where they have hidden cameras in the girl's shower, and they're like, pan down, and it's like, we've got Muff, we have Muff. And yeah, man, could you imagine making a movie today where a bunch of with some kids put like secret recording devices in like their locker room of their college? And I mean, they'd be like, "What are you talking about? You're going to go to prison." But back in the 80s, that was a hilarious joke. Wow, you could, like, oh man, those nerds, they figured out a way to spy on the cheerleaders or whatever, or the hot chicks, whatever they were. It's like, yeah, they should be in prison. Same thing with Private Lessons. He's 15, and she keeps trying over and over again to fuck him, and he keeps running away, but she won't stop. She won't be deterred. And that's the plot of the movie. Is basically a date rape that takes place over the series of many days. So anybody, anything else? All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to check trending Twitter. We're going to check breaking news, and I'm going to give people in the chat room to talk to me about something they'd like to maybe talk to me about, and then we'll wrap this shit up. Hope you guys are having fun. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm back to 510 subscribers. I noticed that I had 511, and then I went back to 509, and then to 510. I noticed that on Saiyans Entertainment, I think what's happening is when I look at Saiyans Entertainment, I see my name is there. It says Zach Waldman, and it says follow. I think that's because Jordan, I have to assume that Jordan is donating money to have a little ad there for people to follow me. And it doesn't seem to be, when I was looking at Saiyans, I was like, oh shit, there's my name. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's doing me any good though. I don't think I've gained any subs from it, but still pretty cool. All right. President Trump did nothing wrong. Hillary made it all up. Just scanning breaking Twitter here. Just a little breaking Twitter here. You could share it with me. Why not look at it with me? PDR scanner. Vehicle supposedly blocking traffic at Vista Del Mar and Imperial. Driver reportedly throwing some sort of fit outside the vehicle. So where is... That's not too... Vista Del Mar and Imperial. I think that's near LAX, I believe. Tonight's debate is going to be like a UFC fight. There's a possibility one of them could go to sleep. That's Mark Normand. Sam Morrill. Breaking, Trump sends, this is from Ian Miles Chung, Trump sends Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Senate. Mike Birbiglia, NBC is where Trump pretended to be a good businessman and Cosby pretended to be a good dad. Nice. And here's my boy Tom Likas. Enjoy the debate tonight. Trickle down, paid no taxes. That is fantastic. We'll go ahead and give that a little retweet. Make sure you follow Tom Likas, who on Twitter goes by Tony Quarantino. Tom Likas, my boy. Love him. Andrew Dice Clay, happy birthday. Gonna retweet that. My girl Adriana Chechik, looking for 2 male performers, October 9th, DP shoot. Any experienced performers down? I'm not an experienced performer, Adriana, but I'd love to be there. Here's my girl Jo Jorgensen, whom I'll be voting for. When that real Donald Trump was telling us we had the strongest economy in the history of the world, he wasn't worried about our debt and didn't do anything about it except make it bigger. I'm the only candidate calling to cut spending. And by the way, she's not a part of the debates. And I believe Jill Stein, is also. What's up, Steve? How you doing, pal? And why is Jo Jorgensen not on the debate stage? And why is it treated like nobody wants to vote for Biden or Trump? Why do they create this illusion that we can't vote for somebody else? Let's see. Hillary, the Democrats, and the fake news media owe America 4 extra years. What do we got here? Orange County, Florida. This dash cam caught a man shooting through his own windshield at another driver on the 417. He opened fire because the driver flashed a gun at him first. All right, we got to take a look at this. Let's watch together, my friends. Hold on a second. Let me grab my headphones. All right. I'm going to start this over. Oh. That's got to be loud as fuck. Let's see what happened here. Slows down, lowers window, cocks pistol. That's some Florida shit. Wow, that's fucking bonkers. Sorry, I had to watch it again. I had I had to see that again. That's pretty fucking nuts. Did that guy take his seatbelt off? Yeah, this dude. Why would you take your seatbelt off? You gonna jump out of the car? Why are you taking your seatbelt off? You gonna jump out of the car? Sorry, I know that had to have been loud as fuck. All right, I don't know, man. He tells his buddy to get down first. Yeah, I had to watch that a few times. Very Bad Things, a super funny bachelor party movie. Very Bad Things. I don't know if I saw that or not. I think I did. I got Trump tonight by first round verbal TKO stoppage. Oh man, I'm with you, dude. I think it's gonna be a fucking massacre. Oh, I wonder. Oh, this is what I didn't do. Hold on a second. Let me audio preview. Let me run that audio preview through here so I can hear my perfect. All right. Let's keep playing on Twitter before we get out of here. We got Trump sends Amy Coney Barrett's nomination to the Senate. Always an open let's see. Andrew Schultz. Let's see. People are missing the point on Trump's tax returns. I'm a big fan of Reason magazine. It's a libertarian-leaning magazine. Maybe we'll check that out. This fucking retard got Mark Maron tattooed on him today. Jesus Christ. I mean, I like Mark Maron, but you're going to get a Mark Maron tattoo? That's fucking stupid. Let's see what Reason magazine has to say. Hey, Wild Whitey. What's up, buddy? I got to I don't know if that was you got to see it from the beginning, and with Wild Whitey here, we gotta make sure that people know that Wild Whitey is here. Motherfucker. What the fuck? There we go. Try it again. Where's my Wild Whitey? Oh, there it goes. Ah, fucking whore. One more time. There we go. That's actually Wild Whitey fighting, my friends. He's a bad motherfucker. You are definitely here. I wish Lizzie would show up so I could show her stinger. All right. Daniel Stern is in it. Jeremy Piven, too. Let's see what Reason magazine has to say about it. I'm just curious. I want to hear the libertarian take. Oh, shit. I want to hear the libertarian take on the tax return dealio. Why not, right? What else do we have to do? So, New York Times caused a stir Sunday with the report on Trump's tax liability, lack thereof. Analysis notes that Trump, whose net worth is $2.5 billion, paid no income taxes at all. In 10 of the previous 15 years, paid $750 in 2016 and 2017. Story will likely come up during tonight's presidential debate. The consensus among the media and liberals broadly is that this is yet more evidence of Trump's sketchy behavior, but focusing on Trump's approach to reducing the amount he owes in taxes misses the larger point, which is that Trump's returns are merely a symptom of a complex tax system that incentivizes filers to sniff out every legal strategy for reducing their tax burdens. This is exactly what I said earlier. So far, this is what I said. It's not about Trump, it's about the system. So his business model is to launch several businesses, most of them hemorrhage millions of dollars. Then he uses the publicity from those businesses to make money on personal branding. The latter is highly profitable, earning him $427 million between 2004 and 2018. The losses from the former, his hotels and resorts, for instance, are then used largely to offset his tax liability. So basically, he starts shitty businesses that fail, hemorrhage money, but because everybody is fooled by him, because he's a fake billionaire and people think, oh, he's really business savvy, they're willing to pay, huge speaking fees. They're willing to put him on a TV show and run a fake business and all of that. So he's used businesses like casinos, hotels, and properties as a loss leader for his personal appearance business, essentially. And then he says, look at how much money I lost on all these things. It would be kind of like, you know what? It's like if you're spending money on Google ads for your business and your business is money, you're going to take you're going to say, well, I spent a certain amount on ads and I didn't get any work from those ads, so it's a loss, and or you take them as a deduction. I don't know. This is why I'm not a CPA. But my point is, what's the difference of starting shitty businesses for publicity that lose money and spending money on other parts of a business and using those as a loss leader? In other words, saying, okay, we're gonna sell a product at a loss to lure people into our store to get them as customers and make money from them by keeping them as long-term customers, right? So the point is, there's nothing illegal about this. It's just the way shit's set up. The Times report does erode the savvy businessman brand Trump sought to cultivate for himself, both commercially and as a candidate for office. President's not necessarily the astute entrepreneur he claims to be, though he may be uniquely skilled at making money by wasting money. His most high-profile business successes, golf courses, reportedly lost $315 million since 2000. The Trump International Hotel in D.C. opened in 2016. It's already lost $55 million. Both numbers according to the Times. Losing money for a living is certainly an unorthodox business model, but that doesn't make it illegal. That's what I said. It's like you could call it losing money or you could call it advertising, right? You could say that he's losing money as a business strategy, or you could say it's the cost of doing business. Trump's deductions don't stop there. There's also $9.7 million tax credit he claimed to renovate the old post office building in D.C., which would later become the aforementioned Trump Hotel. That fell under historic preservation tax clause, an entirely legal tax incentive meant to encourage the redevelopment of old structures. Could be legally problematic or just another revealing symptom of the U.S. tax law that Trump claimed millions of tax dollars in unspecified consulting fees on various business projects, which typically amounted to 20% of his income. Ivanka was the recipient of hundreds of thousands of dollars in such consulting fees. He also declared $1.4 billion in business losses in 2008 and 2009, and IRS audits ongoing. Any good tax lawyer or accountant will give options to their clients. Some of them will be clearly legal, clearly allowable. Then there's gray area stuff, noting that the payments to the Trump kids, as well as $1.4 billion backward-looking net operating loss, may be a stretch. It's also true that the wealthy almost always pay a hefty tax bill. Someone of Trump's worth, that is, the top 1% of all earners would usually shell out more than a third of his income in taxes. But as we're reminded, much of the behavior outlined by the Times report is not only legal, but was enshrined by our lawmakers to encourage certain behaviors. He mentions the tax credits Trump would receive for the old post office building renovation. Congress wrote that law, and they made it available. It's been on the books for 40 years. It's been used to rehab tens of thousands of historic properties. When you write stuff on the books, billionaires are going to use it, and they're going to use it to bring their tax liability down. So, okay, I'm going to fast forward through this because what I really want to hear is okay, well, that's the end of the article pretty much, but what's the libertarian stance on this? To simplify the tax code, a flat tax, a progressive, I don't know. There didn't used to be federal income tax, so I guess the first thing libertarians would probably, I lean in agreement with a lot of libertarian ideas. I'm at most a small L libertarian. I'm not a member of any political party, but I often agree with the libertarians. Sometimes I don't. But, some of them are really wacky, some are reasonable, just like any other party. That being said, I would assume that the libertarian stance would be there should not be a federal income tax, and we should have a simpler tax code all around. So, if anybody disagrees with that or has input into it, let me know. I'm enjoying my lighting. I'm enjoying standing up has got to definitely be better, right? We know it's healthier that I'm standing up instead of sitting down. All right, anything else? Let's check. We'll do a little bit more Twitter. We'll do a little more breaking news, a little trending news. Let's see. NBC is where Trump pretended. Oh, yeah. Let's get this straight. Hillary manufactured the Russian collusion hoax to distract from her email server scandal and kept up the ruse for 3+ years, essentially preventing Trump from fully performing his duties as president while he dealt with the nonsense she made up. Well, that is true. The last 4 years have been lies. Thanks, fake news media. Again, I'm no fan of Trump. He's vile. He's awful. But that doesn't mean that that's not true. It's National Coffee Day? I didn't know that. On Coffee and Men, you can learn a lot about someone by the way they bring you a drink. Do we care? I don't think we care enough. So, so you guys really spent 2 weeks claiming Trump was on Adderall only to have Joe Biden refuse to take a drug test ahead of the debates. Now you're silent. That's all silliness, the whole Adderall drug thing. It's amazing to watch Dave Rubin go down in flames, huh? Dave Rubin has seemed to have recently lost a lot of respect, if he ever had any. I don't know. And I like Dave Rubin, but I'm just watching. He gets a lot of hate. You know, they call him Kyle Kalinske said he's a grifter. Joe Rogan goofs on him now. John McAfee. Unique corn particles strongly stimulate pleasure hotspots. I love John McAfee. He's such a weirdo. Probably a murderer, too. So I don't know if I should say I love him. But assuming he's not a murderer, I like him. He's quite a character. You guys ever see the John McAfee documentary? It's fucking bonkers. You think Tiger King is bonkers. Watch the John McAfee documentary. It's much better. I think it's quite healthy and intelligent to follow people with opposing views. It promotes research and proper knowledge to prepare for civil discourse. If my views are so weak as to be threatened by someone else's, I should rethink them anyway. Yeah, I agree. I follow all kinds of people that I don't necessarily agree with. Let's see here. Disney lays off 28,000 employees. Cites California's unwillingness to let parks reopen. It's a great day to be alive, but not a great year, sure. Here's the Onion. Chicken's eyes catch first ever glint of sunlight through crack in warehouse ceiling just before head sliced off. I enjoy chicken. Not going to make me feel guilty, Onion. Instead of watching the debates tonight, I'm just going to watch the out-of-context clips, people debating what reality we live in tomorrow. That's good. That's a good one. I'm enjoying this. Compound Media. I always love Compound Media. I love Anthony Cumia. Chrissy Mayer seems cool. Don't know her. I just got her back on that Stuttering John video. Why are people hating on Rubin? He's pretty balanced and has great guests. Well, let's see. I forget exactly what happened with him and Rogan, but I guess people are. I think that to sum up how people feel about Dave Rubin is that he's just not very smart, that he doesn't really have any cogent thoughts or convictions of his own, that he just is kind of blowing in the wind, and his book apparently is incoherent, and you know, he's referenced that he can't get on Joe Rogan's podcast anymore, and people have said that's probably because Rogan got wise to Dave being an airhead and kind of a grifter. I believe if you want to look it up, that's Kyle Kalinsky's take I'm giving you there. But I think that kind of sums up the feeling of Dave Rubin, that he's like, he just doesn't know dog shit. He's just kind of an airhead. Gum Fridays. Let's see. Wonder of Science. All right. I'm going to check trending. Let's see, what kind of notifications did I get? Oh, from Vegas Vampire. Thanks, Vegas Vampire. Appreciate you. And I don't know what's going on there. But let's check the trending. Trending Twitter. The LAPD was trained to use a controversial Palantir surveillance tool. Fucking BuzzFeed is such a bullshit site, but should we bite? Chicken are happy to be food. I would like to think so. Do we want to know what this is? Okay, Palantir training guys show how police were trained to use data analytics tool. Police searched for people by scars, tattoos, nicknames, license plates, suspected gang membership. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So what they're saying is, just the way websites like Facebook have all kinds of data on you and analytics to figure out what your behavior is going to be like, they did the same thing on like a social level for surveillance purposes. So property value, let's see. White people, right click, drill down to selected objects. Let's see. Let's see what they're saying about it. Let's see what the police state is up to now. I just don't like BuzzFeed, but let's take a look. Ahead of its September 30th public listing, Palantir, a secretive data analytics company with ties to defense and intelligence communities, has been touting itself as a tool that can target terrorists and keep soldiers safe. With an expected valuation of about $22 billion, it'll become one of the biggest surveillance companies in the world. Palantir promises that where technological infrastructure has failed, it can create clarity and order, but to deliver its software needs data, lots of it. All right, so blah, diddy, blah, diddy, blah. It includes information from the DMV. It includes 1 billion pictures taken of license plates from traffic lights and toll booths. If you've driven through LA since 2015, the police can say where your car was photographed, when it was photographed, and then click on your name to learn all about you. Wow. It's no small thing within the LAPD. Almost 5,000 people, more than half of all LAPD officers, had accounts on Palantir. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Palantir? In 2016, those officers ran 60,000 searches in support of more than 10,000 cases. This is some high-tech shit, man. It's like we're entering, what was that movie where they could predict a murder before it happened? Minority Report, I think. Sounds like we're getting closer to that. Dozens of California police departments, sheriff's office, airport police, universities, school districts signed into data sharing agreements with the LAPD between 2012 and 2017. Contractually, these entities had to send daily copies of their own police records like warrants and arrests, license plate readings, dispatch information, so they could put all that information in a Palantir. Let's see. They're just saying that they shouldn't be, they're saying because of what they do to the black and brown communities, the department can't be trusted with the technologies. It's not actually improving things. It's expanding the power that police have. It's minimizing the right that communities have to fight back. Surveillance is done in secretive ways. Hey, man, I say go back to blaming the Patriot Act, motherfuckers. You guys, everybody is so quick to give up their rights when they're running scared. We had that 9/11 scared the fuck out of people, and they went, you know what, I'm scared. I'm giving up all my rights. And that combined with technology, look, I feel like I'm being surveilled at home with all the time I spend online. You know what I mean? I feel like we're all under constant surveillance. It's like you're never alone anymore. All right, so we got Disneyland, LAPD, Jesus is Lord is trending. Why is Jesus is Lord trending? Adderall's trending. Mass airline layoffs are trending. Eric Trump calling himself gay. They're going to do a Lion King follow-up. I don't give a fuck about that. Altuve. I don't know what Altuve is or why it's trending. That was all for me. Let me check the trending for just in general. Giolito. Debate Tuesday. David Dobrik. Anybody know who David Dobrik or Dobrik is? He's an influencer way. He's giving away 5 Teslas to people who vote, and he's not an American citizen. That's pretty cool. Someone says, why is he single? Because everybody wants to fuck him. He's probably getting tons of pussy. Why should he get a girlfriend? Okay, this is twice now. This Altuve or... Oh, he's a baseball player. I really don't give a fuck. He's just trending all over the place. All right, I think we're out of Twitter fun. I'm not seeing anything on Twitter that's really... You got time for me to call in for about 10 minutes if you shoot me your email address? Actually, I'm going to wrap things up because I have another podcast I got to do. And I got to do it like in an hour, and I got some shit I got to do before then. But I'd love to have you on soon, like maybe tomorrow. I'll be here noon tomorrow if you want to join me. And I definitely want to have you on, so we'll do that. And with that, thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you want to keep from adding me to the list of homeless people that are in Los Angeles County, if you want to keep Zach Waldman living indoors, go to zachwaldman.com/fans. I'm on a quest for 1,000 true fans. Our motto, fewer but truer. I already have 12. Looking for lucky number 13. If you sign up now, you could be lucky member 13 of the Zach Waldman fan club. I teach you how to win bar bets and easy magic tricks. You get exclusive, uncensored content that I can't do on YouTube. You get special storytelling shows with me and actor Drew Phillips. So you get a lot of value in there. Much more. Most people, their Patreons or the extra content they charge you for is just more of what they already give. Mine is actually totally different, man. I have a lot of fun stuff in there. I have a phone call where I was live in studio with Howard Stern when I was working on the show, and my grandmother called in to talk about sex. You can listen to me and my grandma there on the Howard Stern show. That's in the members area. So just go to zachwaldman.com/fans. Also, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hit that little notification bell, and when you hit the bell, make sure you choose all, and then you'll know when I go live, you'll know when I upload a new video, that kind of thing. And that is it. I'm dying to watch the debates. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to watch just a total train wreck. One way or another, it's going to be a train wreck. And I just hope that we're not all watching the fall of Rome right now in this country. I will say this, as much as I despise Trump, I also despise Biden. I think Biden has probably hurt this country and has directly hurt more people than Trump has, probably. But I also have to say that I think this has less to do with who's running for president and more to do with which political party wants to keep the soul of the country. And although there's a lot of good Democrats out there that are normal fucking liberals who believe in the Second Amendment and for the legalization of weed, and they're traditional liberals in the way that I always thought of myself as being a liberal, although they exist in the Democratic Party. Most of them have been chased out, like Al Franken was a reasonable liberal. I loved Al Franken. I thought he was really had his heart and brain into the job. I think it's a goddamn travesty for liberalism that Al Franken was driven out of the Senate. So although there are some good people in the Democratic Party, unfortunately, I think as a whole, the party has been co-opted by this religion of woke social justice nonsense. And I feel this election has more to do with the soul of the country. And I don't feel like, I think the Republicans are horrible. I don't think they give a fuck about people. I think that what they want for the country isn't really in line with what most people want. That being said, if I have a choice between social justice warriors that want to turn this country into Europe and Republicans who will keep America like at least somewhat close to following the Constitution, I just think we're better off, man. As a former Democrat, as a still a liberal, I can't believe I'm saying that, but I think the future of this country is better in the hands of the Republicans right now than the Democrats, because the Democratic Party has been co-opted by insanity, by this new religion that is insane, that believes in critical race theory and intersectionalism and communism and every other ism. All they're concerned with is gender and race. So fuck them. They can all eat a bunch of dicks. And I'm really looking forward to the debate tonight. And that's it, man. Thanks for watching. I love you all more than chocolate cake. As always, I'm going to play you out with a little New Breed Orchestra and Reverend Carl Roberts. Little having a party for you. And I'll see you here tomorrow, noon Pacific Standard Time. And go to the fan club, subscribe to the channel. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think there is. Let's do this up for you guys. Have a good one. Where's my party? Oh, there it goes. See ya.
dressed in plain. He'd like to bop the night away, 'cause he's come a long way from that Ventura County. Girly girl by the telephone. She's been waiting on a man to call so she can share her love, share her love. Yeah, yeah. On the party, party, on the party. We are gonna party people. On the party people. And everybody's getting down now. On the party, on the party. We are gonna party people. On the party people. Rejoice, and baby, let your voice again. Ready for the final chapter. Roll up and fill your cup. You better pause for this moment in time. Witness the fall of the empire, the end of the 1,000-year reign. Who you gonna win, baby? Lord's a pretty baby, just get a tongue on a plane. FIFA, over. Let me smell the blood. Of a fallen empire. FIFA, over. I can smell the blood. Well, it's time to hand things over. Never jewels of reluctance returned. She can still in a position made in child and rag and burn. Everybody just realize what a foolish good you've been. Look at what you've admitted to. Imagine the horrors of the scene. FIFA, over. I can smell the blood. I can smell the blood. rejoice and baby, let your voice again. Ready for the final chapter. Go up and fill your cup. You better pause for this moment in time. Everybody just realize what a fool is good to be. Look at what you and me did talk. And by the horrors on the sea. Viva, viva. I can smell the blood. I got falling vampire. Viva, viva. Yeah. I can smell the blood. Reluctance return. Trick us still in the position, baby. They be chatting, red and a burn. Everybody just realize what a fool is good to be. Look at what you've admitted to. Imagine the horrors of the scene. Leave out.